Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Daily Defender. Great to be with everybody again. It seems like it's been too long since I put out another video, but I don't think it's been actually that much time expired. So great to be with everybody again. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Again, we've got new subscribers coming in, so thank you for that. Really glad you're enjoying the content and some really nice comments over the past week or so. Really appreciate that. It's been really fun to have a dialogue back and forth with people, and I really enjoy that. So please keep the comments coming. And yeah, as always, we still need more subscribers. So the usual admin, please continue to subscribe and like the channel. And again, would love to see the comments. Usual disclaimer, my face is blurred because of my day job, and I strictly want to be able to produce my content and my views on my channel. So with that out of the way, the topic I wanted to try to cover next, and it's a broad topic, is snub nose revolvers. And of course, for me, when I think snub nose, I think Smith and Wesson, and I think generally Chief Special. And I think that's probably true for a lot of people. I'm fully cognizant of the fact that Colt came out with their Detective Special in 1927, so they were kind of the first on the scene. Um, you might be able to argue that a little bit if you want to go back to the safety hammerless design and the bicycle gun that Smith and Wesson had, and we can talk about that in some subsequent videos. But I give credit where credit is due to Colt to producing really the first snub nose. I'm sure it was a 2-inch. I could look it up. I'm not a Colt expert. First on the scene, but Smith and Wesson understood that and had been watching that for a little while. Of course, we had World War II in there, etc. But they were cognizant of the fact that their smaller calibers, the smaller I-frame, etc., really weren't matching the Colt and probably matching what actually the market in the industry was looking for. So, come 1950 at the International Association of Chief of Police, I think it was October 1950, they of course bring out their snub nose revolver. And if I remember the story correctly, the Chief Special actually comes out of that introduction. They introduce the pistol, the revolver at that conference, and they decide to kind of name the baby, if you will, from that conference, and it comes out as the Chief Special. So, what I'm going to try to do with this video here, this is going to be a really kind of short, condensed version, just laying out what the next and subsequent videos will be, and then we'll do our usual deep dive on each firearm. And as I kind of alluded to at the beginning, this is a really big topic within Smith and Wesson, and from calibers to materials of construction to years of production, etc., etc. And again, I've already commented on Colt, but we can't take away what other manufacturers have done as well, such as Ruger and Rossi and Taurus. I'm sure I'm missing some in there. But of course, what I want to talk about is really what Smith and Wesson wanted to do and did do with this snub nose revolver concept, and really how broad and almost complicated, if you will, it became. Certainly dynamic, again, with the number of models and the caliber ranges. I mean, if I remember right, it goes all the way from 22 long rifle to a 44 special, I think. And I'll look that up and try to get all that sorted and all the different calibers that these small guns were produced in. But it's a really fascinating topic for me. I think it's probably a fascinating topic for you folks. Again, the length of time that these snub nose revolvers were produced and are still produced. I would probably challenge you to walk into just about any gun shop and not find a snub nose revolver. Okay, maybe not a Smith, but there's a snub nose revolver in that shop. It would be almost mesmerizing not to have one, and that's I think saying something in it itself. But So that's going to be the topic that we're going to tackle, and it'll be a subsequent. We'll do 4 other videos after this, maybe a 1 or 2 more. There is a firearm that's kind of on my radar screen that I may have the opportunity to pick up. Ironically, it's a snub nose, so maybe that'll work into this little video enclave or whatever we want to call it that I'm going to do over the next series of weeks, because I think each pistol, each revolver has some really nice history and some really interesting connection to what Smith & Wesson was doing at the time, or maybe how it harked back again to some of their history and vintage firearms, etc. So just to get a quick rundown on what we're going to be covering, we're obviously going to have, and these are all unloaded firearms, unloaded and clear on the table, but we're obviously going to have a Chief Special, and mine is it's an early 1960s, if I remember right. It's 62 or 63, and just a beautiful gun. Absolutely love this firearm. It's so enjoyable to shoot, and it's just this amazing part of Smith & Wesson history again. As a Chief Special. This is actually a Model 36. So, like I said, right around that 1960, early 1960 vintage. The other one that we're going to add into this video group that we're going to do is a 40-1. This is a Sentinel. But this is a little interesting because this is actually part of the Classic series. So this is not one from the 50s or 60s or 70s, and again, a cleared and safe firearm. This is actually one from the Classic series, and they basically made these from 2007 to 2012, and it's the version with the grip safety. And of course, if you've seen the other video with the safety hammerless and the lemon squeezer, this comes back to that. So this is going to be a lot of fun to talk about, this 40-1. Like I said, I've got a few interesting tidbits with this, how I got it, how I acquired it, etc. It's an interesting little story, and I thought it was maybe even just a little bit more interesting than one of the originals, because the originals, like I said, I think mid 50s to early 70s. We'll look that up when we do the deep dive. But this one was only made from 2007 to 2012, and this particular one's a 2009. So this was an interesting find. The next one we'll have in the group, and I think we'll go almost chronologically here. This is again, clear and safe firearm. This is a 38 bodyguard, airweight bodyguard with the shrouded hammer. And I know the video at this distance isn't probably perfect for that, but this is one of the aluminum frame models. Again, more of an semi-recent. This is another 1980s version, and so, but with the shrouded hammer, very interesting, very popular. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the FBI had used these either for special assignments or were at least approved for their agents. So this is going to be really, really fun to talk about. And finally, just I guess, if you will, just a modern classic, again, safe and clear. This is a 442-1, and this one I just picked up a couple years ago. So this would probably be a 2019 or 2020 kind of time frame, and it's interesting to talk about as well, just because of its current production, its current nature. A few of the updated features on it make it just kind of nice to talk about. And I actually shot all 4 of these guns side by side just a few days ago. And so that'll be the other thing I'll do. I'll comment on actually which one I like the best and why, and my preferences a little bit over maybe the airweight aluminum and the all steel guns. We'll talk a little bit about that, and what I thought shot well or better, or what I personally liked. And again, it may dovetail into some of your experience as well. But I think we've got a really popular topic here. I've been thinking about doing this video for a while, and the topic is so broad and covers so much information within Smith and Wesson that I was struggling, if that's the right word, to understand kind of how to bring you the content and how we could talk about it. And I think just boiling it down to these four models, and of course, I'm sure we'll drift off into some other conversations, but I think this is generally a fair statement. I think we've got a good representation of what the Smith and Wesson snub nose line was and is. And again, I know we'll have some variations left and right, and maybe if I can acquire this stainless steel model, that might kind of close the loop there a little bit as well in terms of some of the different materials of construction that were used, because obviously the Model 60, just to get into that, was the stainless steel version of the Chief Special or 36. And again, if memory serves me correctly, that was the very first all stainless steel gun that Smith and Wesson produced, and it may have been the very first stainless steel gun ever produced. Again, I'll research that and make sure we're accurate when we're talking about all that. But again, just a kind of an overview of this Smith & Wesson snub nose topic and where we're going to go in the next 4 videos. So this will take us a little while. It'll take us a couple weeks to get through all these, 3 to 5 weeks, I think, just so I can have all of my facts and data and research, and I'll try to pull as much history as I can. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and really looking forward to the comments. I think we'll have a lot of comments on these. I've noticed that the interest in comments on the channel is around revolvers, which I know is Smith and Wesson, but in terms of its most of its history, I know as we've talked about, the first gen and the second gen and the third gen guns are semi-condensed in how many decades that they were produced, but of course there's all the M&P line now with the striker fire and all that. But it's very, very interesting, and I'm glad that you folks all have that much interest in revolvers, which also tells us something, maybe even gives us some market data. But yeah, thanks for tuning in again to the Daily Defender, and we'll get one of these videos. We'll probably go in chronological order, so I think it'll be the Chief Special first. We'll get one of these videos out just as soon as I can. And thanks again for being with us, and we'll see you again soon on the Daily Defender.